What is up, guys? So in today's video, we're going to be cutting out a PlayStation logo on our CNC router. Right here is the PlayStation logo, so let me go ahead and zoom on out. So, as you can see, that is kind of the PlayStation logo. Now, you might be wondering, why are the P and S separate? So, basically, if you've seen a PlayStation logo, I'm going to put one up, okay, somewhere over here. So, yeah, I'll put a screenshot of a PlayStation logo over in this direction. And, yeah, basically, that's what it normally looks like. This, as you can see, is two separate pieces. But if you look at the PlayStation logo, it's almost like the P stands up, and then the S like intersects it at a point. So you have the P, and then you have the S behind it. So I came up with the idea of, hey, why don't we cut out the P and S separately and make it look like that? So rather than just carving it out on, say, a piece of wood or just carving out the shape like that, what if we make it more three-dimensional? So like you have the P standing up vertically, and then the S, like kind of laying on the ground. Not on the ground, but like a table, surface, whatever you set it on. So yeah, that's the idea with this design. So let's check and see what size piece of wood we have to have, because we have to cut that out. So it's a 16-inch wide piece of wood, 11.25-inch tall, and then the thickness is 0.77. So really it's like 0.75, but we put it a little thicker, I think, that way we can cut through all the way, because we put a board above the other board, that way it doesn't cut into the router bed and all that. So yeah, that's kind of the idea of this. I think that length on the P right there on the bottom, right here, that's like 2 inches. This gap up here, I think, is like 1.5 inches maybe. And then this is like 2 or a little longer. Because I changed it a bit from initial. Because initially I had it where it's 2, 2, 2, but that didn't look so right. So I kind of, formed it around just so I got something that looked pretty good. And then this S over here, I think it turned out pretty well. It was kind of difficult to get the curves and stuff. But once I figured out what I was doing and got one part of it right, you can figure it out from there. So yeah, I think it looks pretty decent. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of wood that is the size that we just showed. And then we're just going to go ahead and cut it out on the router. And then we'll probably cut 2 of them. One we're probably going to stain it, and the other we're going to paint it like the classic PlayStation logos. Like the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 logo, like where it has the multiple colors and all that. So yeah, let's get into it.
Alright everybody, we'll go ahead and get this board mounted down here on the spoil board. Make sure everything's lined up. Okay, we got this all mounted down good. We'll go ahead and get the machine zero. Then we'll get the final clamp locked down. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the zeroing blank put on instead of the bit, and then we'll go ahead and get the machine zeroed up. So here's the zeroing blank. There's no flutes, it's just a straight piece of metal. That way you have a good even surface to go off of when the bit's being zeroed instead of having the flutes, which can kind of get wonky when you're trying to get everything zero. So we'll go ahead and get this changed.
Okay, so now that the tool's been switched to the blank, we're going to go ahead and hit resume right here. I don't think it should hit that dust spoot right there, so we're good. Okay, so right now is when we would load a new file. So let's go ahead and open that up. Guess we're going to go ahead and open the G-code up. And right there is the stuff. So it says approximate runtime 17 minutes, so it doesn't take too long. And it uses the 201, which is a 1/4 inch end mill. So yeah, it's, uses a kind of big bit, but I mean, it helps it go by a little bit quicker. So yeah. Okay, so we're going to zero it. So yeah, we're going to rapid to current XY, which is over that way, if you can see where it's going. So right there you can see. Okay, so we just got it over to that point there. So now we're going to switch the increment up to fast.
Okay, so now I can come over here to the machine and we'll go ahead and get it jogged to its final position. One of these little keyboards like from Amazon come in really handy for this because you can get close to your machine while you do it instead of having to run over to your computer, do it, and then come back. So we'll go ahead and do this.
Okay, so now that we have it over there the way we need it, so what we're going to do is hit probe, and then we're going to use bit 0 V2 because that's what we have, and we're probing on the corner, so we're going to hit corner, and then begin probe, and then as you can tell, it goes around, it tries to touch it. You should be able to see there that when it touches that wall, it turns red, and then it just gets like the 0 position off of that, finds the center, and yeah. Okay, so now it is 0. So yeah, I think we're about ready to start the job. So we're just gonna go ahead and hit that right there, and then start. And yeah, it's gonna start moving. So we have to change the tool. So it needs the 201 1/4" end mill. So he's gonna change that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and switch camera that we can see it a bit better.
Okay, I noticed when I took that out, quite a bit of dust fell out of the collet here, so we want to make sure to take it out and make sure that it's clean. As you can see in here where these grooves are, sawdust can sometimes fill that up and keeps it from getting tight on your bit, and then your bit will fall out while you're doing the job, and then it ruins your piece, and then it could also ruin your bit. You don't want that to happen, so it's always good to check this if you think you might have a lot of dust in it. This one's clean, so we'll go ahead and put it back in.
So we can go ahead and hit resume. It's going to go over here. Let me switch cameras so we can see it a bit better. Okay, so right now is when we turn on that spindle. But before we do that, so right here we have this little progress bar, and it only takes 17 minutes. So we may come through and during the recording and show you like the progression and like kind of where we're at while we're cutting it out. Maybe. So yeah, you'll see that if we do. So we need to set the spindle speed. My mouse just died. Okay, it just lagged out. Okay, so we need to set the spindle to 18,000 RPM. So yeah, let's go ahead and turn that spindle on after we put the dust boot on, of course. And yeah,
vacuum.
And then we have a vacuum that we turn on. And then right there, go ahead and resume. Okay, so we can go ahead and start it up, and it should be going. So this progress bar here will update. The chances are we'll switch to the full cam. That way you can see what's going on a bit better. Okay, so we're at around 30%, as you can see there. It just finished the P and it started on the S. So yeah, there's about 10 minutes left remaining. So yeah, let's keep it going. Okay, so it just finished the job. It just cut it all out. So we're going to go over there and take a look at it. Okay, so right here is the PlayStation logo that we just cut out. We took it off the board. So yeah, it looks a little scraggly here and there. We also have those tabs we still have to cut through, so what we're probably going to do is cut that out on the bandsaw. So yeah, we're probably going to go do that right now. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay guys, so we just cut out the P and the S over on the bandsaw. That's the right way. I'm looking at my monitor over there. See if I'm holding these the right way instead of backwards. So yeah, this is right. This is the way it's held. So basically, we cut out the P and the S on the bandsaw. As you can see, there are some parts still where it's a bit scraggly. So, what the plan is to do is we're going to try to cut that off, or sand it off actually, and try to make it look better. And then once we do, what we're going to do is we're going to paint these. I believe the P is supposed to be fully red, and then the S has like different colors going all the way back. So yeah, the way these are supposed to go together, if you still haven't visualized that, I may have explained it wrong. But basically, it's going to go together something like this. I'm trying to get the perspective right. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good, honestly. Because you're going to have it flat on a table that's kind of low, right? So you have it twisted to you about like that. I'm trying to get it level if I can. And yeah, see, so that looks about like the logo. And then if you change like that angle there, you can get more logo-y. It just depends on your perspective. But yeah, it looks pretty good, honestly. I think that whole idea works pretty good. So yeah, like I said, we cut this out. We cut out two of them actually. One we did on the other stream, but I already mentioned that. So yeah, we're going to paint this one colored, and the other one we stained it. So yeah, let's get to cleaning this up, and we'll be good to go. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so as you just saw, we sanded the P and S, so we got rid of like the little scraggly pieces of wood hanging around the edges. Okay, so yeah, I accidentally dropped it, kind of, and it's split. So we either will cut a new one, or maybe try to glue it, because that's not ideal. So yeah, the P is still intact, but the S is not. So we're gonna have to fix this and hopefully be able to get it working again. So yeah. Okay, so the S on here just broke, as you saw. We're gonna move the P to the side. Luckily that didn't break it. And yeah, so basically the S broke really, really smooth across like one of those lines in the wood, so there must have been a crack there or something already, so that's why when it dropped it broke right there. So here's the plan. Worst comes to worst, we cut another one out, okay? But why not go ahead and try to salvage this and see if we can get it going. So we have some wood glue, we have a brush, kind of helps us apply it rather than just straight up squeezing the wood glue onto there. We also have a rasp. So I know with some things when you go to glue stuff, it's good to have like surface area and like contact spaces for the glue to stick to. So if we rough it up, the glue should be able to stick better and hold the pieces together, because that is really, really smooth across. It's almost like it was sanded. It's that smooth. So yeah. Then once we apply the glue, after we rough it up, we're going to use this clamp here and try to clamp it across. So I just tried this a second ago. It works. I'm not going to clamp it down right now, but I'm going to show you the idea. So when you clamp it down, it kind of pushes it out like this. So this piece on the S, it's going to want to go in like this because of the way the pressure is applied on the clamp. So to keep it as straight as we can, what we're going to do is we stick this little jar here. It's just something to go in there. It doesn't really matter what it is, honestly. And it kind of keeps it from being such a big gap in between the wood pieces, so it should help keep it pretty straight, and it should be fine. So we're going to attempt this. So yeah, what we're going to do is going to go in with the rasp a bit. That's a rounded end. We don't want to use that. And it's not going to be very nice looking, or the inside of it, but it doesn't have to be, because really all we're doing is roughing up the surface. That way we can grab some, that way the glue can grab onto it better. That's roughed up a bit, so hopefully the glue can be able to grab. The clamp has enough room that way we can just, when we get the glue on there, put it together, just start clamping, right? So we're not going to worry about that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to take this glue. It's, just normal wood glue. And then we're just going to push some there. That should probably be enough, right? We're just putting about that much, and then honestly the brush, it probably isn't needed. We're just doing it to make it look a bit nicer, honestly. We're going to apply some over here. Granted, when you squeeze them together, it'll apply it on both, but it's fine. So yeah, we have that glued up, right? So now we'll push that together. Try to line it up best we can. That looks lined up decent, right? We're going to push the clamp there. So as you can tell, there's a bit of a gap right there. So the plan is to do something to kind of, might have to reposition it a bit because I had it working a few minutes ago. So we'll just have to see if we can get it where it looks decent again. And that's pretty good. So now, here's the thing. You see that little gap? Basically, I'm going to just put this here and try to squeeze it in there. I think that looks decent. So then, once that kind of starts drying, because it gets like a little tacky after a bit, I think, what we'll do is we'll flip it over and do the same on the other side. But I think this should work. Hopefully, that attaches it back up the correct way. Okay, so right here is the S. So yeah, we glued it up. This has been glued a bit longer. That's why it's a bit more transparent than this side. But the glue should turn out pretty clear. Plus, we're going to paint over it, so it shouldn't turn out any problem at all. We're pretty much ready to paint. So the P, I believe, the whole thing just has to be painted red, and then this is going to be painted multicolor. This will probably just do it with spray paint. This one we'll probably do it with brush on paint, because that's what I have for those colors. So yeah, I guess we'll go spray paint this first, and then we'll go to this one. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so right here we have yellow and blue paint. So right here's where yellow's going to go, right here's where blue's going to go. In the middle there's like a teal, and I have that colored paint, but I'm thinking this might be a few days process. So the idea here is to paint the yellow up to this line that goes across, then the blue up to this line. I put that line, but that was a little too far over, so I re-shifted to right there. So basically the idea is to get these two on the sides, and then if we have to clean up the lines, we can do that when we go to put in the teal paint. So yeah, I guess what we'll do is we'll just paint this yellow and this blue right on here. So this is going to be the yellow, that's going to be the blue, and then we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so right here is the painted product. So right here is the P, then right here is the S. So as you saw right there, we painted part of it yellow, part of it blue, and then I did this like teal strip last because I figured that was just the easiest way to clean up those lines is just to do the middle one, and then we're good to go. So yeah, I had to mix the yellow and a blue I had to try to get this teal right because the teal paint I picked originally didn't work out. So that took a bit for me to figure out, to get like kind of the right tone. But yeah, I think this looks pretty good. So I'm going to move this over to the side right now, and I'm going to show you the general idea this should go. So I think that camera's like mirrored, so it's going to look opposite to you. But yeah, I'll do it what looks correct to me and then rotate it. It probably is going to look wrong on the camera because I believe it's mirrored. I'll try to mirror it in the video editing, that way you get an idea. But right there is the logo thing. And I think it looks pretty decent like that. So what we need to do, the next step is first get the stuff off the table that just got all over this. And then what we're going to do is glue this piece here with this here. So the P and the S are going to be glued together like this. And yeah, we'll be good to go. I believe this is the correct orientation. I'll double check that before I glue it. But yeah, we'll get to gluing it and I'll show you that. And then we are going to clear coat it. And yeah, we'll be good to go. So let's get to it. So this part of the P right here is going to be glued onto this forefront part of the S. You can't see it from that angle, but it's that edge right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this wood glue here. I have a bit of glue in that cap, so I'm just going to rip that out. And yeah, so basically I'm thinking apply the glue here and then press that together. That's going to be the idea. So yeah, I'm just going to leave this clamped up like this. Hopefully the glue will dry, set, and then clear. And become clear. And then, like I said, we will see if there's any spots that need to be glued again, just for tighter fit. And then we'll clear coat the whole thing and we'll be good to go. Okay, so we're back. It's been a day or so and it has been glued up pretty good. So like I said, it dried clear. Can hardly tell it was there, except maybe where some stuff got in the glue, but you can't even tell it honestly unless you're really looking. So I already kind of loosened up the clamp. Air compressor just turned on, sorry for that. But yeah, right here we have the S. It's in there. It's glued pretty well, honestly. So if we angle it like the PlayStation logo, that looks pretty good. That actually looks really, really good, I think, personally. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear coat this. Right here are the two finished PlayStation logos. So basically this one is stained, just normal wood stain look. And this one is, painted up like the PlayStation logo. So yeah, I think they both turned out pretty well. Personally, I feel that this one's better, or I like it better. I think just because it's the more classic look. This, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what it is. But, the shape is the same and all that. The colors on this one just help it stand out more and, more obvious as to what it is. So, yeah, let us know which one you prefer in the comments down below. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.